Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Seher here from Renewable India. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Ms. Shipra Mishra, the CEO of DRIIV. Ms. Mishra is a highly accomplished business leader with over 18 years of leadership experience in Fortune 500 companies. She is an alumna of the prestigious IIT Kanpur and ISB, where she honed her skills in engineering and business management. Ms. Mishra has successfully led DRIIV towards achieving its business objectives and establishing a strong presence in the industry. It is an honor to have her here with us today for the interview. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Seher. Thank you so much for having me over.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, so first I would like to ask, can you please tell us more about DRIIV and its objectives?
Yeah, sure. So, Seher DRIIV, which stands for Delhi Research, Implementation and Innovation. It's the umbrella body for the Science and Technology Cluster, which has been seeded by the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. So, this central government initiative is aimed to create an ecosystem of industry, academia, and government bodies, bringing them together to take innovations from lab to market. So, the concept of clusters is very well established in the West. They've been running very successfully for the last 30, 40 years around the world. In India, it's a fairly new concept. We are 2 years old. But the objective is exactly how the clusters work in the West to bring about a transformative change in the science and technology landscape.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, as you said about science and technology, can you please tell us how DRIIV facilitate better synergy among science and technology and organization in Delhi NCR specifically?
So, DRIIV, in terms of the constitution of DRIIV, so we have 100+ member base, where most of the academic institutions that are based in and around Delhi, which includes all the premier government research organizations such as IIT Delhi. So we are based out of IIT Delhi, and it's also the nodal organization for this cluster. Other organizations like AIIMS, government CSIR Labs, IRI, and all the other research facilities like TERI, they're all part of the cluster. Then we also work with a number of other private institutes like Ashoka University and a number of corporates, startups, MSMEs, and anybody and everybody who can play a role in taking innovation from lab to market.
Okay. So, ma'am, we also heard about Sameer project. So, like, what inspired DRIIV to implement the Sameer project to fight against air pollution?
So, Seher, if you look at the where we are in terms of science and technology, taking a step back, there are clear gaps which we need to plug if we want India to leapfrog and achieve its ambition of being a $5 trillion economy. And science and technology is a very critical part to achieving that objective. Another objective that India needs to meet is sustainable growth and has to deliver on all the UN SDGs that we've signed for. Now, the thematic areas where DRIIV works at are all aligned with national missions. Most of them have to do with the UN Sustainability Development Goals. And then also in terms of mainstreaming cutting edge technologies such as developments in electric vehicle, renewable energy, and use of technologies like AIML in healthcare, etc. So, sustainability being our major objective, air pollution, of course, is quite critical. And given the challenges we face around air pollution, being based in Delhi NCR region, nobody needs an introduction as to how critical that problem is. So, what we are doing in terms of mitigating the challenges of air pollution is leveraging science and technology solutions. Now, one of the biggest gaps in the country right now, and which is why a science and technology cluster like DRIIV has been seeded, is there's no concerted effort between industry, academia, and government bodies to achieve the same goal, right? A lot of efforts are being done in isolation, people working in silos, and this is what has been limiting us from achieving sustainable results. So this is where, DRIIV comes in and designs a kind of a format for public private partnership where people, various constituencies can come together and work on a single problem. So we selected air pollution, which was very topical. It started at the end of October, beginning November. It was very topical at that time, and kind of created a framework where a multi-pronged approach was required. Now, there were three prongs to that framework. One was community engagement and awareness. Obviously, when you're trying to address a problem at that scale, you need to involve people. It cannot be done without community involvement. Second was science and technology intervention, which is the mandate of the cluster to use science and technology to address the problems. And the third aspect of it is also involve rally in private participants through their CSR initiatives, align the CSR initiatives, and through their environmental arms to get involved and create a bigger impact. So this was the whole idea when we started off. In terms of community engagement and public awareness, we did a number of exercises to involve the public. We targeted multiple stakeholders, ranging from farmers in Punjab and Haryana, involving the medical fraternity through Lung Care Foundation, led by Medanta, to spread awareness about impact of health, of bad air quality, and not just on the lungs but also other vital organs and other parts of the body as well. The second constituency that we involved was school and college children, right? And again, there was, twofold objective of involving the student community. One was directly educating them on the harmful impact of air pollution and the role that they can play to control it at their own individual and own, societal level. And the second aspect of it was also provide them tools to scientifically assess these problems, to use to analyze data in a scientific manner, and come up with correlations, causations, and also think of solutions in a more structured manner. The third community that we involved was more, urban slums and RWAs, where this message could be taken to for impact. So this was the community engagement aspect of it. Now, in terms of the science and technology intervention, we have been working with a number of startups in the area. Now, another unique feature of this project is so far we do not have any platform where startups working on societal and environmental problems can, have the opportunity to coming back to the science and technology intervention. The objective, as I said, was kind of create a platform where startups get to test their solutions or validate their solutions in real life conditions. And also, bringing in researchers from well-established institutes to validate those solutions. So this is the unique feature that drives Project Samir provided to these startups. So far, we have around 15 startups participating in this exercise, and these solutions range from low-cost monitors that can also monitor PM levels, and also solutions that can mitigate those PM levels. So solutions ranging from both, domestic level mitigants that can be installed within the room, within closed doors, plus industrial solutions that can be deployed in open outdoors industrial areas that can bring down PM levels from 700 to below 200 levels. So that is another unique feature. The third aspect of Project Samir is more, invite private capital to support these kind of pilots in the country. So we have successfully conducted workshops which have resulted in some CSR support coming in, both from private organizations supporting individual startups in terms of adopting their solutions, as well as some public organizations, PSUs, that have contributed their CSR funds, CSR spends towards supporting these initiatives.
Okay, ma'am. Good to know, ma'am. Ma'am, how was your experience with community engagement specifically? Was it a bit challenging?
It was, but then that's the thing, when you involve experts, right? Things become a little easier. So, in terms of community engagement, we have been working with Lung Care Foundation, which is a very very well established foundation across India. It's led by the experts from Medanta, so the entire medical fraternity is involved, and they have been doing this exercise for decades now. So we conducted workshops in Parali, on Parali burning in Punjabi, and we involved NGOs. So one of the prominent NGOs that we've been working with over the years is IPS Foundation, and they have very good reach in regions of Punjab and Haryana. So yes, it was challenging, and to reach the student community, so we have an effective education vertical within DRIIV, which is led by Delhi University. So all the schools and colleges across Delhi and neighboring regions come within our network. So this is the beauty of having an ecosystem platform where we can leverage various networks and propagate our message.
Yes, ma'am. Very impressive, ma'am. No doubt. Ma'am, can you share some details like about SAMI project and its air quality in Gurugram specifically?
Hmm. So, as you know, Seher, in terms of the air quality, again, it ranges throughout, it varies across the year, right? So, we chose the winter months where the air quality is particularly bad, right? And the solutions that have been are being tested, they have shown to, they have kind of shown significant impact in reducing the AQIs. Now, I would just like to put in a word of caution here, that if we are really, serious about reducing air pollution, the best way to do it is curtail it at source, right? Otherwise, it becomes, just a patchwork of solutions that we are trying to do. Now, uh, we have to understand what the sources of these pollution are in order to effectively mitigate them. So, for that, a lot of studies and exercises have been done in the past, and in recent times also within DRIIV, a number of studies have been done, by institutes like IIT Delhi, TERI, etc., where three or four key culprits have been identified, at least for the Delhi NCR region, right? So, bulk of this pollution you can apportion to four categories. Them being industrial activities, like mostly brick kilns or power factories, etc., that are using coal. Second culprit is transportation. So again, particularly that coming from heavy vehicles. Third category is road dust. So you see a lot of road dust happening, and limited green cover as well, particularly in the Gurugram region. Then you have domestic activities as well, like in slum areas you have burning of chulhas, etc. Then in a confined time frame, at the onset of winter months, you also have the issue of parali burning. So although the time frame is quite limited, but Delhi NCR becomes a gas chamber, when the stubble burning season happens. So these are a few problems that need to be addressed at source. In order to address all these problems at source, we need a strong government intervention in terms of imposing the existing norms. It's not that technologies don't exist. It's not that the norms haven't existed in the past. It's just that stricter enforcement is required, right? Now, when it comes to industrial pollution, Hmm? So, the ideal case scenario would be replacing fossil fuels with renewable energy, right? Now, the challenge is, do we have enough supply of renewable energy with us at the moment to address the entire problem of industrial consumption of fossil fuel? The unfortunate answer today is not, right? But the entire country, as well as DRIIV, as part of the national mission, is also looking to explore how to commercialize renewable energy sources, how to develop them further and commercialize. And these sources include things like green hydrogen, biofuel, biodiesel, which will play a major role in bringing them to the market in the next few years. Till the time that is not happening fully, right? There are technologies, carbon capture technologies that exist, including wet scrubbers, etc. That should be, that the industry should be made to comply with. Now, the other challenge on transportation, right, in terms of technologies, uh, we have been successfully moving towards the Bharat 4 standard. So emissions have come significantly under control over the past couple of years or so. Uh, Moreover, we are moving towards EVs. Again, the move towards EVs has its own set of challenges. We still don't have the charging infrastructure to support the entire transition. We still don't have the full, grid capability to support more mainstreaming of EVs. We still don't have, the charging infrastructure spread across the cities and on highways to address the range anxiety for more EV adoption. Nonetheless, these things are coming, and DRIIV, along with other, arms of the government, is working to develop technologies to make all these happen pretty quickly. So we've already worked in kind of designing charging infrastructure and setting up swapping station. There's one swapping station at Janakpuri that we've been testing out. There we have developed a range of two-wheeler and three-wheeler batteries, and also four-wheeler batteries, and commercialized them through our startup EVI technologies. So around, say, 17 plus cities across the country is benefiting from 380 plus charging infra based on that. We are also working on universal charger, so that the charging infra can become more interoperable, and therefore the deployment cost can be reduced and a business model can be created in using it more. Then we are also looking for tailpipe emission technologies that work better, so that the existing vehicles which currently cannot be put onto EV and don't meet Bharat standards and are still plying on the road, right? If they can't be taken off for some reason or the other, at least those filters should be installed so that these black emissions do not happen. So these are the kind of technologies that need to be supported and adopted at mass scale. Yes, the kind of technologies that are included as part of Project Sameer, we very much require them, because we require low cost sensors to continuously monitor hotspots. Till the time these emissions are not coming under control, we need kind of solutions, both filter based solutions as well as filter based solutions, to clean up the existing polluted air. But we must go beyond that also.
Yes, ma'am. This is not related. I'm going to ask one question. This is not related to Drive. I was going through your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you co-founded Kabila.life, and you were like a director of Genworth. So, how was that experience? Like, would you like to share with us?
Yeah, so it's a long story because you've combined Genworth and Kabila life as well. So I'll take you through my journey. So after I did my BTech from IIT Kanpur and after my MBA from ISP Hyderabad, I left my engineering within the institute and took on a financial services career, starting in Germany. So I worked for a GE company called GE Money Bank, and then I realized that I couldn't speak German, and I was a vegetarian, so I had to move to UK to survive. So I did that and then stayed in the financial services sector throughout, kind of shuttling between Lloyd's Bank, which is a big commercial bank in the UK, and then moving to another GE company called Genworth, which was a mortgage insurance. And my role was initially, more towards risk and strategy, but then towards the later part of my career, moved to more relationship management front end roles, managing relationships with existing clients, which were other banks and insurance firms, and also regulatory liaisons. So I worked a lot with regulators in Europe and number 10 policy team, so the Prime Minister's office in the UK. Particularly in the times when the credit crisis also happened and the recovery was happening. So, mortgage insurance played a big role in the recovery of mortgage market in the UK after the credit crunch. And I had a big role in advising the UK government as well in terms of structuring what became to be known as Help to Buy scheme, um, which was an instrument to revive the housing market in the UK.
That was awesome, ma'am. It was so good to hear from a women, especially. It's like you were like epitome of women empowerment. I felt that way when I saw your profile.
Thank you so much. Very kind.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, like, what are the various themes you people are working on? Like, Drive is working on.
So here, as I mentioned, drives thematic areas are all aligned with national missions, right, which also cut across the UN SDGs. So broadly, if you look at them, they'll fall in the bucket of sustainability, in the bucket of healthcare, and in the bucket of deep technology, right? So when we talk of sustainability, so we talk of renewable energy, we talk of waste management, which is kind of waste to wealth. We talk of water security, air pollution mitigation, right? Then in healthcare, we've been using, deep tech tools like AIML in terms of, building predictive COVID models, right? So, we have created on an NDHM compliant platform, we've created models that provide up to 2 months of lead time in terms of predicting, okay, when is the next wave of COVID or COVID like infection, which can take any kind of pandemic form, is likely to trigger using genomic sequencing. Then the third bucket is, again, coming to deep tech, which intersects with AI ML, but now we are, looking at semiconductors and how we can take on the, national semiconductor policy and, contribute towards India's, journey towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat in the area of semiconductors.
Okay, ma'am. So this is the last question, ma'am. We heard about bioprinted liver project. Can you please give a small gist on this project?
So, Seher, I would say that, this is just a small example. Bioprinted liver is a small example of what can be done. A wider context is a greater collaboration between the two main science stream, which is the biotechnology as well as the engineering, can completely transform the healthcare space in India. Right now, in order to understand how, this is a small example where, and between IIT Delhi and AIIMS, there is a good collaboration and a lot of projects are happening, but most of them do not see the light of the day because there is no commercial support coming from corporates. Uh, Taking the example of bioprinted liver, so obviously a number of diseases like can be directly traced back to your infected liver, and when it comes to drug discovery and creating more effective medication to treat that, you need more live kind of liver cells, and to put it in a layperson's language. But the problem with that is they don't, their shelf life is very limited. And there is also a very limited activity you can do in terms of drug testing. So what this concept is that the team uses protein from silkworms, right? The silk protein, right, to create a cage-like structure, 3D printing, so that they can create the skeleton of the liver, if I may put it that way, the structure of the liver, and then inject it with the protein, the liver protein, hepatic proteins that are there, to ideally simulate the structure and functionality of the liver, which is longer lasting. And therefore, more of these tests can be done, and drugs can be developed for effective treatment of these diseases. So this is one example of such technologies. A number of technologies exist, which is, the result of joint collaboration between AIIMS and IIT Delhi.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So it was a really, it was an awesome experience for me, ma'am. I actually came to know about things I never knew before. So, ma'am, thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks for being here.
My,
And
my
okay, ma'am.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.